All right, we are joined here by Clemson coach Mike Noonan. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Absolutely delighted for Clemson University in Clemson, South Carolina. Notre Dame was a very worthy opponent. We knew that from the beginning. Chad and his team and his staff are first class, absolutely first class. And they played exceptionally well tonight. I was happy that our team, and I thought that our team had come a long way since the first time we played Notre Dame. And we have, and now we're sitting on top.
Questions?
Coach Trevor Gross, CUTigers.com. Congratulations.
Who are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Trevor.
That's 2 national titles in the last 3 years. Is this what you envisioned when you took over the program in 2010 at Clemson, or has this even exceeded your expectations?
Well, you know, when they hire you at Clemson to do a job, you got to do the job. And that job means championships. And that's what they hire you to do. So, you know, yeah, it's an amazing thing, and it's very, very difficult to do. And the expectations of Clemson are high. I knew that coming in. You know, I grew up when Coach Ebe was winning national championships, right? And it was always a program that you looked at and always wanted to be a part of. And when I got the opportunity, it didn't take me long. All I had to do was convince that lady over there, and she decided to come.
Coach, Andrew McDevitt, NCAA Digital. The hugs with these guys, just as they're getting off the stage, and the hugs out there on the field, what do those mean to you, and what do you say to the guys in those moments?
I love you. It's easy. It's easy. But that's not because we won a national championship. They have put everything they have into the program, and they're such beautiful people. And I think sometimes that in sport, a lot of times in college, in professional sport, you don't get the substance that I get every day. And that reward is worth more than any money. And they mean a lot, every one of them.
Coach, you talk a lot about how soccer, no matter where you're playing, no matter the stage, it's the same game every time. But this time you did have to manage all the outside excess drama and whatnot and excitement of this game. How did you manage to get your team to stay focused on the game in these upcoming days?
Same way we did all year. One of the most amazing things about this team, and it's really hard, I mean really hard, particularly in the current affairs of college athletics, to stay in the precious present. You know, it's something that is, and that's what this team did. You know, the last questions to Usman, I mean, everybody's been asking those questions. Gael, Joran, Usman, Popmar, Joseph, all of them, Sean, right? And they stayed focused on the precious present. And all we tried to do, with a lot of help from a guy named Bill Bessick, who you guys don't even know, and Milt Louder, was to keep them focused on a growth mindset and getting better with every game. And our communication and our organization against West Virginia wasn't good, so we focused on getting that better tonight. There are areas in the game that we needed to get better, and that's what we focused on. We didn't focus on the drama of what the occasion was. We didn't focus on who our opponent was. We just focused on what Clemson could do to beat Clemson.
Coach, what can you say about the game that Brandon had just a couple hours from his hometown? I mean, the first goal and then the goal saver on the goal line there.
Yeah. He's, again, a very special young man and plays with an incredible amount of passion. Incredible amount of passion. And sometimes you have to harness that, right, and reel it in. And I mean, the goal, he scored 2 against Notre Dame. The first game, he scored an unbelievable goal. This one was even better. And he's, the thing about Brandon is he gets better every single year. And his future in the game is very bright because he's going to get better and better and better over the next 3 or 4 years. So delighted for him. He grew into the captaincy. It wasn't easy. Our last couple of years, we had a lot of senior leaders, right? And Brandon and Adam grew into the captaincy, particularly with some older guys coming into the team, Alex Meinhardt, Gael Gilbert, and Joran, and we've got great leaders, but those 2 stood out all year.
Coach, Matt Camp, Clemson Athletics. It's been 121 days since your first preseason game this season, and such a journey isn't always possible without a great support staff. I was wondering if you could speak to the value and impact of the people who work behind the scenes for the program and how they play a role in getting to a national championship win.
Yeah. The most important people are sitting to your left because that's the greatest support we have in our families. My technical staff, Phil, Camillo, Malik, and Rob, the experience that we have together is amazing. And the synergy we have together. They cover my weaknesses every day. And this year was probably, I had to rely on them the most of the years that we've been together because there were a lot of things that went on throughout the course of the year that were difficult. And they're incredible, right? Raz, Mike Bruno, Milt Louder, all of our strength and conditioning people, all of our medical people, Dr. Reeves. It's amazing at Clemson. They say it takes a village, right? And then beyond that, our social media people, our communications people, they're second to none. They're second to none. You can see the work that they do is better than anybody in the country. Better than anybody in the country. And then we have student help too. Aislinn sitting in the back there, right? And our managers. It's an incredible group of people. And when I started in this business and started in this job, it was me and an assistant coach. It ain't that way anymore, thank God.
Coach, you guys had a rocky start to the season, dropped out of the preseason polls.
Stop it.
And didn't make your way back until mid-October, but you haven't lost since late September. What do you think was the turning point in this season for the team?
Did you go to Clemson, or do you live in Clemson? No, that's the expectations of the program. We lost our home opener this year to a UCF team that was ranked number 1 in the country for most of the season, or a good portion of the season. And then we outshot a team by 27-3, I think, and tied a game. And you would think that, it was a disaster in Clemson. Fortunately, we kept the guys, like I said, in the present, the precious present. And, they were asking questions too. They were asking questions. There are a lot of new players, 14 new players on the roster. You come to Clemson, the expectation is to win, period. End of discussion, right? And that's hard, right? And that's in all of our programs. So if the expectations are high, they're high for a reason. Matt just talked about the support, and the support staff, and the resources that we get, right? Our athletic director, our sports supervisor, Kyle Young, Ipte. The expectations should be high. But it's important for coaches to lead and direct people in the right way. And my staff did a really, really good job of that when there were turbulent waters. And, we got them through that time. And that was just a time where they needed to grow and love each other. And the team was so new and so young that takes time. College soccer, we get 2 weeks of preseason. Are you kidding me? Right? To get to know people. Right? Guys just showing up onto your campus. Right? That takes a month, 5, 6 weeks. But once we went through the adversity that we went through, Everybody says it's coaching cliche, but it's not cliche. It's true. Adversity makes you stronger. And that strength came from the tough times, right? And I told him before the game tonight, I said, this is a Clint Eastwood movie, fellas. 90 minutes to Nirvana. And we are now in Nirvana.
Coach, I think you're 11-0-1 this season when scoring first, something like 95% in your career. Obviously, an advantage to score first, but what's the mentality that you have when you do take an early lead in the game, and how nerve-wracking was that second half when Notre Dame had chance after chance, hit the crossbar?
Yeah. Well, after we go up 1-0, I start praying. And it seems to have worked out pretty well throughout my career. That's a soccer stat, right? I mean, if you score the opening goal, if you score the second goal in a game, right, chances are they get higher and higher that you're going to win, right? So we focus on that, right? And we have KPIs that we go through after every game, and one of them is score in the first 20 minutes of the game, and that's something that we try to do. Another one is be even or ahead at halftime, right? And so it's intentional. And with that intent comes results.
Coach, Lawrence Dockery, Bluff City Media, just to kind of piggyback off that last question, it didn't end up mattering that Notre Dame got that goal right there with 1 minute left in the game, because you won the game, you got the trophy right there. But did you get just a little bit nervous when it gets cut to 2-1, and were you just a tad bummed out that you came this close to getting through the entire tournament without conceding a goal?
As long as we're carrying the trophy, I am never going to be bummed out. I can promise you that. The nerves. It's only a soccer game. It's only a soccer game. And you've got to make sure that you keep things in perspective too. There's so many other things that are more important, and so many other things in these guys' lives that will be more important. So in the moment, yeah, you get a little bit nervous. It gets a little hairy. But when you trust and believe in the group and you love the group the way that I do, it's a player's game. And you just got to leave it to them. And they delivered.
Coach, a lot of people think that a true preseason starts in August, and it does, but you had a chance to go abroad with some members of this team. How do you think those days spent abroad really helped lay the path and the foundation for what we've just experienced?
Thanks, Matt. That is imperative in college athletics. Those events are the cartilage that binds a team together, because you're in a foreign land, right, with only your teammates, and everything is different, and there's change all the time, and that's what life is. So having the opportunity, and the other thing, our game is a world game, right? So any place in the world, it's going to be really important, the game. And our players deserve to experience that. We're also in an educational institution, and education and edification in different cultures is something that's part of the education. And I'm very thankful to IPTE and our donors who made that happen, and Graham Neff, our athletic director, who allowed us to take the trip. There's a reason why there's a rule that you can only take one every 4 years, but you got to take advantage of it when you do, and we just have.
Coach, Eddie Radwanski was here tonight. Clemson's the only school in the country that had 2 teams in the men's and women's college cup. What does that say about Clemson as a soccer school?
You guys are baiting me in. Dabo's going to talk now. We'll call it a football school, right? Yeah, Eddie's support and his staff support and their team support of our team is fantastic, and it goes vice versa. I mean, our guys had phones out at meals, and usually we don't allow that, but you know, when the girls were playing in the College Cup, the guys followed every minute of it. Eddie's been a friend for a really long time, and he and I, we've got a really, really good relationship, but all the coaches at Clemson, we have a text chain of all the head coaches, and I know I've been blown up. And the guy, all the coaches at Clemson, I think that comes down to leadership too, right? The leadership that we have through Graham, but Dabo does a phenomenal job of being inclusive and letting us all know that what we do is important too. Brad Brunell having a great year this year, right? Same thing. Brad's the first one who will text me to wish me luck. He was at a watch party tonight, So we're tight. We're tight. And Eddie being here tonight is special.
Coach Jimmy Martin, Bluegrass Soccercast. With the ACC set to expand next year, how does that change your approach for trying to win back-to-back with Stanford, Cal, and SMU coming in?
Yeah. It doesn't. Right? No matter who it is, no matter where it is, Clemson's going to show up, and we're going to win. Whether it's Stanford, whether it's Cal, whether it's SMU, the thing that makes you the best is when you play against worthy rivals every year. Simon Sinek wrote a book on it, right? And you have to have worthy rivals. I mean, people talk a lot of times they like if another player on the opponent's hurt, right? Yeah, you might get a little bit of an advantage, but you know what? We want to beat everybody at full strength, and we don't care, if we got to fly across the country to do it, right? So that's the attitude that we have, and we know they're going to be really, really, really good, and the league is just going to be phenomenal next year. So, it'll be more fun, I guess.
Coach, you mentioned that KPI board earlier. You talked about it after the Charlotte game where you guys hadn't had a shutout in a while, and that was the one that you told your team, we need to go get a shutout tonight. You kept a shutout for, I think, 448 minutes of this tournament. How were you able to do that, and what changed from those few games leading up to the tournament?
I didn't do anything, right? The players did. Right? And we talked a lot about our organization. We talk a lot about our preparation, and that's my staff. Preparing the players and we do talk about, again, another coaching cliche, defense wins championships, right? We were a fantastic offensive team all year, and we have tools, but we talk a lot about, fellas, you got to tighten the screw now. We're in the ACC tournament, right? We can't give away loose goals. You'll be done. You've got to defend restarts better, or else we'll be done, right? And, it takes 10% more effort when you get to the championships, and defense is all about effort, organization, and attitude.
Coach, since you mentioned the coaching text chain, the football program has 3 national titles. Soccer program now has 4, but you're tied with Dabo. Is the race on for number 3 between you and Dabo?
We poke fun at each other a little bit sometimes, but I suspect that after basketball wins the Natty this year, that we got other softball, baseball programs kicking butt. I mean, there may be a few more before Dabo gets his chance at the next one. So we're looking forward to that.
We have a question from Zoom here along that same line. You're the 3rd Clemson athletics head coach to win 2 national titles. What does that mean to you to lead the Tigers and these players in particular?
It's really not what it means to me. It's what it means to Clemson University and Clemson. I'm just doing my job. And, I don't mean that to be flippant and coming off that way, but it means a lot. If you've ever been to Tiger Town, it means a ton to the university. President Clemens was here, right? Our faculty athletic rep was here. I mean, every part of our university, athletic department is the fabric to it. But I'm really honored to be the head coach of the soccer program. I mentioned Coach Ebe earlier. His widow, Julie Ibrahim, has been incredibly supportive of my family, because she knows what it's like to be a coach's wife. And she was here tonight, and she and I rode in an orange Ferrari at the parade the last time in 21, and that's the only thing that I'll say that'll compare this team to 21 is I can't wait for the parade.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.